Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode. I'm Frankie Vitella. Today we're going to be making a Linguini Puttanesca. Just a shout out to the Golden Scissors Barbershop. This is my nephew's barbershop. You folks might see on my site that it says Frankie Cooks or Frank Cooks 1375. That 1375 is special to me. That is something my sister and I had. We always had a running joke about the 1375 thing. It was actually an old address of hers. I would always tell her 1375 and she would think I was crazy because I would always bring that up, which was probably about 50 years ago that she lived in that address. I thought it'd be appropriate to bring into this episode because this is her son's barbershop, my nephew, and that's how that came about, just so you know. Okay, let's get to the items that we're going to be using today. We have capers, nonpareil capers, which are very small. We have olives. We have some mix of Kalamata and Gaeta, these two olives in here. This is more Kalamata, really, but that's what's in here. I have fresh garlic, fresh chopped tomatoes, anchovy. I have a half a cup of white wine, and I also have a red pepper seed. Now, what I do with the red pepper seed is I put it in a processor and grind it, and then we get this fine type of red pepper seed. It grinds all the seeds, it does all that, it's delicious. A good friend of mine, Rocky Lambert, turned me on to this, and I've been using it ever since. It also makes the pepper a little hotter because you're grinding everything in there, seeds and everything. So it's something I use quite often. Anytime I make a spicy dish, this is in it. So the marinara sauce, this is why I make extra, because I'm gonna make a dish tonight and I don't have to make the marinara sauce and then make the puttanesca. So this is what I do. I make a big container, I put it in quart size plastic containers like this. You know, once it's cool, you put the lid on it. I put marinara. I usually put the date on it. This we just made, so I didn't do that yet. It didn't go in the freezer yet. So now I'm probably only going to use about a half of the amount for this. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll store them in smaller containers where I only need something like this. But this is the way I have it today. Why don't we go over to the stove and start preparing. I'm taking my extra virgin olive oil, pouring a little bit inside. Again, I went around one time. I'm gonna say if you're measuring, it's about 1/4 cup. And we're gonna add our chopped garlic. I'm doing 2 cloves there. And again, you don't have to chop it this way. You could cut it any way you like. If you like to slice it, some people like to slice it. Some dishes I do slice it. It's just pretty much how I feel that day. Again, no real science here. Now I'm gonna add my capers. It's about a teaspoon. And I use the smaller ones because I like them better. I think they're a little more tender. Capers are like they're like a bud of a plant grown in the Mediterranean area. You know what I mean? So they're very salty. They have their own kind of flavor, but you'll see them in chicken piccata and those type of things. I love it in this dish. Now the anchovies, I break up, and you don't have to put anchovies. If you don't really like it, you don't have to put it, because some people are freaked out by anchovies. I particularly love them. I love them just like that on a salad, something I really enjoy. Now we're gonna let this cook up a little bit. It's really one of the keys in this dish. You know, if you're really making it, you need the anchovy in there. But if you really don't like it, you'll see how the rest of the stuff goes, that it's pretty good, even without it. Now we're gonna add our olives. I'm gonna say that's about half a cup of olives, maybe. And again, you can use any olives you want. You want to use, I like these olives in here. You can use green olives. You can use any olive you like. I'm going to let this cook. Smells good. All right, now we're going to add a little bit of hot pepper. I like to do this at this time because I like to cook in the oil a little bit. You'll see that I used probably about a half a teaspoon. You make it the heat that you like because not everybody likes it that hot. So now we're going to add our white wine, kind of deglaze the bottom of the pan. Just get all that juice out of there. And we're going to add our fresh tomatoes. Use about that much. So I put a lid on this just to get a little steam in there and let those tomatoes cook down a little bit more. I don't like to usually put lids on things because it does make steam and it does make moisture. Certain things I just want to. The tomatoes were a little not as soft as I would like them, so they're taking a little bit longer. So we're gonna let it cook for a few minutes. Okay, here's where we're at with this. And again, people make puttanesca a little different. Some people put the sauce in here that I'm going to put, the marinara. Some people don't. Some people just do the olives and the capers. But I like to do it this way. This is the way we do it. This was a dish that I used to make in our restaurant, and I made it quite a bit of this. This was pretty popular. I even used to do fish with this. I used to make this sauce, and I would put it over fish and bake it in the oven. I used to put it over cod. I used to put it over Chilean sea bass. It's delicious with that. It goes great with fish. Okay, this looks pretty good. We are gonna get ready to cook the pasta, and we'll go from there. So in this dish, I put the salt last. Because you have capers that are salty, the olives are a little salty. You don't want to put too much, and it'll get cheese at the end. So that's going to bring a little more salt. It does need a little bit, but not that much. So I'm just going to take a little pinch and go around. I'm also going to add just a little bit of black pepper for flavor, because there's enough heat in there. You certainly don't need to put anything like that in there. Okay, we're going to cook the pasta and get back. Okay, I'm going to throw the pasta in. Today we're using thin spaghetti. I like this. And I like the thin, it's called Linguini Finni that Checo makes. It's very good. So we're going to throw this in. Again, as I said before, to see how much time they know how it cooks. So for al dente, we're going to do about 8 minutes. Now also on the olives. These are pitted olives. You need pitted olives. If you're going to use regular olives, just know that there's pits in them so you don't break your teeth. You can buy them pitted now, or you can, just squeeze them and take the pits out of them. But I advise you to probably make sure you're using pitted olives. We're going to wait our 8 minutes, and then we're going to transfer the pasta over. Show the finished dish. Got about 1 minute left over here. The pasta. Now I'm going to transport this from here to here, because I don't want to strain this in a colander and it be dry. I want a little bit of this pasta water in here. That's why I'm doing it this way. We're going to go just like this. Look. You want some of that in there. It's got a nice salt flavor in there. There we go. Fresh basil on the top of this. Pick it up. Nice. Okay, here we are. Let's give it a try. Put a little bit in the dish here. Now, here is an ongoing thing. I know it wasn't when I was growing up. You never put cheese on any fish pasta. Now, this has anchovy in it. I put cheese on it. I like cheese on it. I always did. So this is the way we do it. We put a little cheese on here. My uncle's skin is probably crawling because he would not like me doing that. Okay, let's try it out. Get some olive in there. Very good. Just make sure that always make sure you before you bite into the olive, because sometimes they say they're pitted and there's a pit in there. So you be careful with that. Just brought the marinara sauce back here because I only used a little bit of it. This has not been frozen yet. Like I said before, sometimes I put this in smaller containers so you can just pull out small amounts, but it wasn't frozen yet, so it's still okay to go in. Now I'll date it and I can still freeze this. You don't want to waste it because it's too many things you can do with it. You can just eat it like that. That's why I wanted to bring this in and show it to you. Like I spoke about my sister a little earlier. My sister passed a few years ago, and she was a phenomenal cook. And that 1375 is just something that's close to my heart. It makes me think of her every time I say that. So to you, good food, good memories. See you soon. Thanks, Joe.